Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In the series Donde un poco aprender español. Sharing my personal progress will be very boring for all of you, so today I'm going to share my personal opinion about 4 tools that I use to learn foreign languages. And to give you some context, I have no skills for natural languages at all. Learning them takes me enormous amount of time, and that's why I'm constantly looking for tools, software that can help me to make this journey less miserable. I've already posted one video in this series some time ago, pretty well received by YouTube, no copyright strikes. I'm going to share my personal opinion about those tools, so bear in mind that I am not an expert neither in learning nor in teaching natural languages. Let's start with Busuu. Busuu is a platform to learn languages. I have English selected. That's the tool that I completely don't get. I mean, for me, that seems to be that noobs like me teach other noobs some foreign languages. Here you can see there's a message that someone asked me to verify their work. So if I click here, so here we have a topic, and there is some exercise done by, in this case, Grażynka, and I can give her a feedback. I already gave a feedback to one of the guys, but I completely misunderstood how it should be, because this feedback is not about her feedback to these questions. This feedback is about her grammar in her feedback to this question. I posted something completely off topic, and what is even funnier, I cannot remove this. I cannot edit this. So when I saw her reply, how it looks like, I feel pretty dummy, let's say. When I open Busuu, it shows me that I'm in a beginner. There is no other verification of my level. So why Busuu asked me to verify anyone else's work? So that's why I don't like this platform, and I use this for maybe 2 hours in total, but that's all, and I'm not going to continue using this tool. So the next tool is Speakly, and I've seen quite a lot of adverts of this tool recently. I have a paid version of it, so there are no limitations, there are no hidden features that we cannot see. But still, this tool, even of those fancy tiles and colors and graphics, I have the feeling of very old, outdated way of learning and teaching any languages. So let's point all the issues that I have with this tool. As you can see, interface is in Polish. I can change it, and I'm trying to learn English, American English this way, in this case. Problem is that I'm trying to learn 2 languages, English and Spanish. In Speakly, I cannot choose English to Spanish. I mean, I want to have Polish English and Spanish English for a very simple reason. For example, in Polish language, we don't have articles at all. They exist in Spanish and English. So it is way easier to have something like the car, a car, el carro, un carro. In Polish language, it will be always car, like samochód, nothing else. So I cannot do this here. Also, contraction is, let's say, optional. Yeah? It's not mandatory, and there is no difference in meaning between you are and your. It's just about pronunciation and typing, but both versions are absolutely fine and correct. But for some reason in Speakly, where they have exercises, if someone designed this with the shorter version, this is the only one valid version for this tool. And one more issue that I have with this is that there are also listening lessons where you have to type what you heard. There are 2 versions, the normal speaking and the slow one. Problem is that I cannot say which one is which one. I mean, I cannot see difference between, I cannot hear difference between the slower one and the regular one. So I will try to make I will make one lesson, and I will try to find such examples without recording all the lesson. Okay, so here we have a hearing lesson.
Everything went as planned.
let me put this my phone closer to microphone, because this is a mobile application. Let's play it again.
Everything went as planned.
And the slow one.
Everything went as planned.
Yeah, kind of slower. Yeah, but does it help if you are new? Not really. Here we have example of this very strict rules. Moim zdaniem means in my opinion, or I would say something like this. For me, this is all more of the same meaning. But in this case, the only one I would say, and not only I would say, because as you can see, we have only two input fields here, so it has to be I'd say. Nothing else will fit this exercise. Here we have another proof how strict this tool is. Let me play the sentence that I need to write down.
She's addicted to chocolate.
Yeah, so she is, as you can see, is already wrong because it expects me to write a certain number of letters, and because it expects this shorter version, when I wrote she is, it's already wrong. Yeah, so I need to use this version.
She's addicted to chocolate.
And here we have this contraction example in a speaking language. So let's make it broken. I don't. That was correct.
I don't want animals to suffer because of me.
I do not want animals to suffer because of me.
I don't want animals to suffer because of me.
Yeah, just because it expects this contraction, even if my sentence grammatically is correct, it refuses. It is as it is. So the next tool that I would like to show you is Quizlet. It's not similar to previous tool because this is more about learning phrases, words, and for this purpose, not the language itself. It has pretty nice features that I'm going to show you in a second. So I'm logged in. I can add my study set. I have my folder. Yeah, so let's create the study set. Yeah, I can give it some title. Let's say YouTube video. Some details. What is cool about this and defining sets is that, let's say, I would like to add a phrase like, well, for example, car. Maybe car is too simple. Wisdom. And it shows me some other translations, probably used by or defined by other users, and I can pick up one of them. That sounds okay. Yeah, and I can also choose a language here. So if I wouldn't pick up this version, but I would choose a Polish language, it suggests me a Polish translations, which is pretty cool. Also, if I will say not Polish but back to English, yeah, so it's not only simple words but also phrases, and the translation seems to be correct as well. It detects this properly. So this is pretty cool feature. It helps a lot, but of course we need to every time we need to validate if this translation makes sense or not, because someone else might provide something wrong. Yeah, so let's create this with the one phrase. It must be at least two. So let's say wisdom. It can be wine, wind. This is the explanation for this word. So let's create it. Yeah, it was saved. Okay. And here I can see my set with those two words, but also I can go to recent. I don't know why, because if I go here, there are no my folders. At least I cannot see my sets. I cannot see my folders that I created. I need to go to recent for some weird reason. And here's a folder, and this is the folder I created. So there are my sets that I previously created. You cannot find this the last one I created in my folder. Yeah, I need to go here as long as I can see this in a recent. So I can find my YouTube and here there's a plus. So I can add it to, I'm a member of some classes, but I can also add it to my folder. And now if I go to recent folders, I will open my folder, I will see my YouTube video set. Here I can also add this set from this level. Yes, so I can remove this like this, and it has been removed. But let's add it again. Okay, it has been added. So once working with some idioms and phrases, I started with two different sets. One was for idioms, other was for phrasals. But I realized that it will be too boring and I want to match them. So let's say here I have 26 phrases, here I have just 2. And how to match those two pieces together? Here I can only remove, because this removal is not deleting this set, it is removing this from this very folder. I need to open this set. Here I can add this to class and folder, as I already showed you. I can share with others, and there are some other options. And one of them sounds promising. It is a combine. Yeah, so here, and I would like to add this one. Yeah, it's cards, 26, 2, looks good. Let's go. And now it seems that I have 28 phrases. Yeah, but there are two different sets. And if you are not careful with what they display below, you might be confused that once you close this, okay, it seems that closing doesn't work here, doesn't matter. So let's go once again to my folder, English. You can see still 26 and 2. So there is no easy way to combine them together. The only way I found is that I can go here, I can export this. And this can export me this as a comma separated values or tab values, doesn't matter. I can copy this text. Then I can go back here again, go to my folder, go to my idioms, edit, and somewhere here I found there's an import. So here I can paste definitions that I just copied. That's crazy. Yeah, so I don't want to modify this. So let's go to my folder again, English, open this one and delete it. Yes, delete this set. As I showed you, you can create sets with any language. I mean, you can choose English to Polish, English to English, Polish to English, Spanish to English, whatever you want. That works perfectly fine. But what it doesn't, you cannot see here from this this view. I have in a title, it is English, 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 Polish. But there's no indication, there's no information on these tiles in what languages those sets are. Yeah. So when I want to learn two languages, I would like to know, I would like to have them grouped somehow. I would like to be able to separate them completely and learn Spanish from the one set and English from the other one. But here it is a completely complete mess. And let me open the mobile version. So here is the mobile version. Someone figured out that it is a great idea to have a half screen covered by some pretty weird graphic. I appreciate effort that some developer put into this widget, but What the heck? I don't have to know about this 19 days streak, this pretty nice graphics and all this stuff. I would like to go to my sets. And why in a sets? Why this one is here? I didn't work on it. I didn't practice this set yet. Uh, I cannot find my folders here. Yeah, I can view all sets in this way, but what's the sort order of those sets? This is set 4 idioms and English, 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 Polish, English, English again. Set 1, there is set 2, there's a set 3. This is pretty messed up. And also, there is no easy way to work with two languages here at all. And what is also annoying is that this pretty widget appears first one, great achievement. But this is loading dynamically when the application starts. So it is pretty confusing. What did you work on the last session? Also, there is no, at least I cannot find any progress, how many terms I already learned from this. What is good, I can show you. If I open my cards, I can click on it. Let's say if my mobile can be here.
Unintentionally, by oversight, carelessly.
Yeah, so they have this nice feature that this can speak out loud how it should be pronounced. I didn't check how it speaks in Polish, to be honest, but the English version seems to be pretty nice. So overall, this tool is not bad, but is far from being useful. Usability is on a pretty low level, to be honest. There are too many fancy rounding shades, styles, but this is not focused enough on a real learning experience from my perspective. But adding this set with this help from other sets sounds pretty good. That leads us to Duolingo, very well-known tool. Here so far I found this the most useful. Previously they had a little bit different layout. Now there's just one path, so you can pick lessons one after another, and that works pretty fine. In the paid version you can practice also your mistakes. Here's this let's say entertainment section where you can compete with the others. You can also click and see your progress. How did you perform in a recent week? Yeah, some stats are always welcome. They have also this news section. Yeah, so they have pretty interesting stories. What is also cool is that I can learn Spanish from English. Yeah, so let's make a practice one lesson. So here we have English version. I can learn Spanish. When I learn English, I learn it from Polish, what wasn't possible in a Speakly. Also, when I click here, it shows you some translations. Yeah, so sometimes they are tricky, and more often they are helpful than tricky, but sometimes you need to be careful. Yeah, so here we have a different approach, so we don't have to type, which is pretty cool when you work on it on a smartphone. What I do very often, I have typos because I have pretty thick fingers compared to the keyboard on my smartphone. Let me make a mistake. Here we have this accent, which is not necessary in a Duolingo. I'm not an expert, but I found it very helpful because all these accents they are in a special section of the keyboard, so it takes quite a lot of time to find them. So here's enciendo. So let's this one should be an error, but sometimes on a keyboard there is a this is let's say like this one. Let's see if they will accept. It's completely wrong. So let's say here we have Yeah, so this is a correct word, but let's say with M, if Duolingo will accept this. Yeah. So it is not just one-to-one, it is close enough. I mean, sometimes it doesn't accept if that doesn't make sense completely. For example, if you mess up genders, if I would write Lahabon, it wouldn't accept this at all. But because M and N are close, and sometimes I make those typos, it is very, very helpful because I know how it should be spelled, and that's what I really appreciate in this tool. Yeah, and that's what I mentioned previously. This is the first version, yeah, that I typed by mistake. Should be in the error. And probably if I will type this with A, it should be a mistake. No, it's also correct. Yeah, so sometimes those typos are accepted by Duolingo, which makes sense because it's not that we don't know, we just make a typo. Of course, this tool isn't perfect either. What I don't like in this tool is that here every step has some number of lessons. This one has 5, but it's not mandatory. Can I go here? No, I already finished them, so I cannot show you others. Yeah, but there can be 3, then it can be 5, can be probably some other value as well. But let's assume that there are 5. So here you can see I finished on the lesson 4. The 5 is the next one, and then will be the last one in this step. And once I finish the 5th one of the step, the last one, I will got the multiplication. All my points will be multiplied by 2 for the next 15 minutes. And that, I guess, that's supposed to encourage me to work more. But in my case, it works completely opposite. Because if I know that I'm short in time, I'm not going to pick this lesson and maybe one more. Because to finish one lesson takes me like 3-4 minutes. So then I will lose this 11 minutes of this boost time, right? So there's no point for me to take another lesson or 2. But those points we display here. And of course, it's not a real competition, it's just some dummy league with some scores. But if we are competing with ourselves and with the others, some strategies also comes to play. What I would appreciate if they will rid of this multiplication at all. Maybe they can encourage people to work more in some other way. But now, when I have time for 7 lessons, I will take 5. Yeah, because the other 2 will not fulfill the whole 15 minutes of this multiplication. So that's why this is the feature that I really don't like. And one more feature that is missing, because none of those tools have real grammar tools. And yeah, let's say this is the new approach, but I would appreciate if they would have some path like this one, but with some vocabulary. There's no way to learn only vocabulary. We learn vocabulary with every single lesson. There's some new word, maybe not every single, but we learn vocabulary with lessons. But I would appreciate to have separate sets of words that I can learn in certain topics. Maybe there are also like in English B1, B2, C1, C2, and so forth. Maybe they will add, because I can see that they are playing with this quite a lot. They modify many features. So far, this tool works the best for me. So that's all from my side. Remember, guys, that this is just only my personal opinion, and your experience might be completely different. If you use any other tools that can be that are valuable for you, please share. Maybe it will be also valuable for others. But that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.